I threw a couple of sound files up on my music stuff on the my Banjo Hangout page. This says Old Joe Clark Twin Banjos Harmony or something like that, and there's kind of a medium tempo one and a faster tempo one. And the faster tempo one, yes, I just sped it up. I didn't play it twice. I just want you to hear what it sounded like a little bit faster. But I wanted to show you how to play those two parts. Twin banjo is something that we just don't hear enough of. I know, back in the old days when it was Roy Clark and Bobby Thompson or Roy Clark and Buck Trent or any of those guys, they used to do a lot of that stuff on Hee Haw and shows like that. But when I come across a tune that lends itself well towards a harmony banjo part, twin banjo part, I feel like sharing it because who knows, maybe a couple of my students will get together and play this together. Could be fun. Anyway, this is Old Joe Clark. I'm going to show you the way I play the down the neck part, and then I'll play an up the neck part. And I want you to know, if I forget to say it, that my right hand fingering is either identical or almost identical, and that keeps the flavor of the twin banjo stuff phrased and sounding the same when they're played together. Listen to the reference MP3s that I put on the Banjo Hangout on my music page, and then you'll hear there. I think I panned them hard right and hard left so you can hear the two parts, but I'm illustrating how you do it here. Okay, the down the neck part. I use my thumb to cross over a couple of times because I like to keep the flow of notes as smooth as possible, and I'll do whatever I have to do with my right hand to make that happen. 2, 3, 4. Golly. One more time on that B part. Dang it. Wow. Okay, so here's the B part up the neck is all centered around these notes. And so here's what it sounds like played slowly. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So let me do that one more time, because you can end the phrase a couple of different ways by going, or what we're going to use in the B part. That's much more of a kind of a standard D chord. I'm doing this in G, but a standard D chord kind of a sound, whereas this is kind of a more modal D. It's not a real clear D7. So again, so a little slower on the B. I'll play both sections. The A part first. So here goes with. Whereas this also goes with. But it gives kind of a more of a D with an F chord sound to it. You know, it's got that kind of a D7, whatever. It's got a modal D sound to it. Okay, second half of the harmony part. Same Nick there. Okay, anyway, hope somebody gets something out of that. Okay, this is, I just wanted to address or to share something. And I'm using Clinch Mountain Backstep as an example. And the topic basically is, how many ways can I play this? It's and this is just the A part of Clinch Mountain Backstep that I'm talking about here. I've learned it the way that tabs say that Ralph Stanley plays it, but the way that intrigued me early on was when I heard it played on the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band record by John McEwen, and of course Randy Lynn Ragg on that record and Opus 36, and that's the record that made me fall in love with playing the 5-string banjo. But the way he played Clinch Mountain Backstep was just totally different. So when I was a kid, I sat down and I figured it out, and it's kind of a more of a melodic approach, not melodic, but it uses melodic things to get licks. And I just thought, oh, that's the way he played it, period. Well, you know, recently I was messing around. I said, oh, I realized that I could get those same notes by playing it in more of a not the same way, and I'm going to show you what I mean. And it's cool because even though the notes are basically the same, it has a different feel to it. And so the point is I always like to remain open. When I've learned a tune, I always want to remain open to finding a new way to finger it, a new way to finger it with my right hand, a new way to finger it with my left hand, because sometimes you just happen on something that's really cool. This is what I feel like happened in this case. Many of you who play this tune will go, duh, that's, you know, we do this all the time. But here's the idea. I think Ralph Stanley plays it somewhat like this. Better than that. Good grief. Something like that. Well, that same kind of melodic sound, the way I learned it off the record years ago, which is probably incorrect, but this is the way I figured it out, was to play John McEwen's melody is more like this. Trying to make sure I'm keeping my both hands in the frame here. So sort of like that, using this slide and those notes instead of... See how you can get those notes? But the way I learned it recently was more like this, and it helped me understand this. The right hand fingering is different, left hand fingering is different, and it places it so that you can play a brush on the downstroke, which, if I'm not mistaken, my memory tells me John McEwen did. So you're doing that. So you're playing a brush with these two. And your thumb naturally, with this fingering, naturally falls into that downstroke brush. So, again, I'll show you how that way is played. Let's see if we can do this right. You got... Instead of, which is the way I played it in the old days, play it that way. Instead of... Again, I have to bring my thumb over to get this to happen. Again, a little rough. I apologize. But anyway, I'm guessing, but I'll bet that's the way John McEwen played it on the record that I learned it off of 40 some odd years ago, playing it the wrong way for all that time. I'm just guessing, but I bet that's the case because that feels more right. Anyway, just again, you can look at a tune that you've known for years and find different ways to play the thing. I really like that tune. I love that tune, and this is a fun way of playing it.